Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. I'm the card game Philosopher and welcome to the very first episode of Back to Yu-Gi-Oh! We're gonna start with a little subsection in this, cards you need to know, where I try to explain some of the cards that are relevant in the format right now to you guys, or at least introduce them. This way you know which cards you can use to build your deck and you know which you need to play around which your opponent might have. I asked on the Discord whether you wanted this section more in small videos or from like a few minutes, where I try to explain these, or long, where I have like a lot of cards that I'm trying to explain to you. You wanted smaller videos, compact, that just cover a few cards, so I'm gonna try and focus on that. I'm gonna try and keep it as short as possible. Sorry if that's not working out. I'm a huge blabber, so I keep on talking, so it might go absolutely wrong, but we're gonna give it a try. So, I know it's very frightening because of the 10,000 plus cards we have in Yu-Gi-Oh! If you're trying to get back into the game, maybe you came 4,000 cards, you last played 4,000 cards before, you might be frightened like, oh, do I need to read all these cards now? No, you don't. I'm gonna explain the ones you need to know. It might be only like 200 cards max, and that's probably a far stretch. And if you know these cards, you're probably already way ahead of what you actually should know, so it's gonna help you a lot. And all the cards you don't know, well, if you don't know any cards, you can just read them and eventually you'll know. So experience does a lot for you, but well, it's a lot nicer experience if you can, before that, safely just read the cards that you should already know. A lot of cards your opponent assumes you've already seen, so do not give away entirely that you're getting new or that you're new into it. I'm gonna try and help you guys. So this time we're going to cover a few of the hand traps. Hand traps are very important right now. If you don't know what it is, a hand trap is pretty much any card that you can use from your hand to stop your opponent in their turn. That's basically what I see as a hand trap, or what I define as a hand trap. This time I'm going to introduce the Ghost Sisters, which are probably some of the most used ones right now and one of the most known one of the most popular. So if you know these cards already, you already have a supply of cards you can use for your deck. Alright, let's get into it. First one, and I'm going to introduce the most famous one, most used one as well, so you're definitely going to see this if you're playing anywhere with Yu-Gi-Oh! You're going to see this one. The first one is Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. All these monsters have the same characteristics: 0 attack, 1800 defense, level 3 tuner. And yeah, their types differ, and their types and attributes differ, and they have an effect and they're all hand traps. That's something they have in Similar as well. So let's start with Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. When a card or effect is activated that includes any of these effects, quick effect, you can discard this card to negate that effect. The first effect you can negate is add a card from the deck to the hand. So drawing counts as adding a card from deck to hand, for if you don't know. Special summon from the deck. If your opponent would do that, you can negate it. Main deck, that is. It's not for the extra deck. And send a card from the deck to the graveyard. There, you can use the Ash Blossom on that as well. So you can only use this effect of Ash Blossom once per turn. That means that even if you have multiples, you can only use one of them. Well, next, when a monster... next one... Whoa... Sorry, ahead of myself. Next one, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. It's probably after Ash Blossom one of the most used one and one of the most known ones. And it says when a monster on the field activates the effect, or when a spell trap card that was already face up on the field, not already on the field. So if it's said before, it doesn't count as already for Ghost Ogre. It was already face up on the field. You can discard this card to destroy that card. You usually want to use this against continuous spell traps or against field spells that try to use their effect, not one on activation but one that are already on the field, and against like some monsters that need to stay on the field or things like that. For example, links that say like special summon to my arrow, you can use Ghost Ogre on it and it doesn't special summon because the arrows aren't there anymore. You can use Ghost Ogre only once per turn as well, just like Ash Blossom. They all are just a hard once per turn if I remember correctly, so yeah, even if you have multiples, you can only use one of these per turn. So hope you're only drawing one. After that, Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion is pretty much almost identical to Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, but for the graveyard. When a card or effect is activated that includes any of these effects, quick effect, you can discard this card and negate that activation. So when your opponent, this important detail, this negate the activation, so this can also be used in the damage tab, unlike Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. Don't know what damage tab is? I'll explain it in another video. Add a card from the graveyard to the hand, deck and or extra deck, you can negate it. Special summons a monster card from the graveyard, you can negate it. Banish a card from the graveyard or cards, you can negate it. And it's a hard once per turn once again, so multiples, you get the drill now. Next one, Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. This is pretty much a side option. Unless you're playing Arrow Mages, you're not going to play this in your main deck. During either player's turn, except the end phase, so you can't use the next end phase effect. Quick effect, you can discard this card, apply this effect this turn. You can only use this effect of Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood once per turn. Each time your opponent special summons an effect monster during the main or battle phase, you gain life points equal to that monster's attack. If you did not gain life points by this effect, your life points are halved during the end phase. So, usually when your opponent activates a card that special summons a monster, or your opponent is about to make a link monster, something like that, you can discard. Usually you want to do this on something that's certain. You can use this card to make sure you're getting a lot of life points. Why is this relevant? Well, if you're playing online, this is probably never going to be relevant. But in a tournament where you have 40 minutes, this is very important. When you only have 40 minutes, you're not going to use this in the first duel, so you're not going to put it in your main deck. But in your side deck, you can put it so that when the time is nearing, you're looking at the clock or you're asking the judge like how many time is left. And if they're saying something like, I don't know, maybe they're saying like you only have 5 minutes left, and you still have you're still siding for the last game or for the next game, you might decide to use Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, put it in your deck, let your opponent go first if it's a deck that actually special summons, and then you have the chance that while they're trying to make their board because they don't want you to attack them directly, you use this and you shake the hand because they're probably gonna die anyway in their turn. This was used on the European Championship last year and was hilarious to see. So, last card, the final sister we have here is Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, just like Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, is a card that you're probably only gonna side. You can build your deck so you can main deck it, but this is a very specific card, so I'm gonna get into it. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, quick effect. So your opponent needs to control more monsters. You can discard this card. Cost. Reveal one card in your extra deck. Then look at your opponent's extra deck. Also banish all cards in their extra deck with the same name as that revealed card. You can only use this effect of Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries once per turn. So for this to work, you need to know what kind of deck your opponent is playing, and you usually only use it against decks that rely on a specific card in their extra deck. It's the only time you're going to use it. For example, against Salamangreat, if you do this on Sunlight Wolf, that's a major blow to them, because their whole deck kind of revolves against Salamangreat, Sunlight Wolf. So if you're able to take that out of their extra deck, yeah, that's a great blow. But remember, you are also using extra deck spots for this that you probably weren't using unless you're using this in a mirror match. And you're also discarding a card, and you need your opponent to have more cards than you do, more monsters than you do, so yeah. Well, that's it. This video is longer than the next ones because it's probably the largest set of cards I'm gonna do, and I wanted to explain what this series is gonna be first. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a lot. You learned something from this. I hope this will help you during deck building. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is the Card Game Philosopher. Out. See you next time. Здесь все тусуют, под хардбас танцуют. Три полоски, три полоски.